Hi guys. Figured I'd video this so that we can rewatch it um, if we need to. And I know the sound in here is a little echoey, so I apologize for that. But here we go. How's everybody doing? I just taught class, so that was great. Tuesdays, 8:30. Come join me. I wanted to talk about a couple things because there's people have been writing me, asking me some questions, particularly about anxiety and panic attacks. But before I talk about that, I just wanted to talk about a couple other things that have come up for me over the week that I think might be helpful to you. And if it's not, don't worry about it. Let it go. Um, so, actually, let's go back. Let's talk about panic attacks. Why not? That's what you want to know about. All right, so here's the skinny on panic attacks. And this is a perfect example of how the body reacts, right? So many of you heard me talk about breath and how important that is to the body because it's actually the one thing that communicates to the body that it's actually safe in the present moment, in the present time. So if you think about what happens during a panic attack, like a lot of you are saying you're getting shortness of breath, you're getting sweats, you're getting hot, you start crying uncontrollably, you can't catch your breath, you feel overwhelmed, you feel heavy. Sometimes your heart pounds so much that it feels like you're actually gonna like pass out, or some people feel like they're gonna die, like the walls are coming in on them. I know this does not make you feel very good at the moment. I'm just saying these are some symptoms, right? Um, and part of what's happening in this state and time, right? So that is all a symptom of fear that is happening right now in the present moment. So a lot of people are feeling that. Um, and what's tricky about the panic attacks is that they come on at times when your body actually feels like it's in a safe space to be able to connect with what's scary. So a lot of you have written being like, why am I having a panic attack when I was like drinking tea in my kitchen and I felt fine, right? All of a sudden this like rush of emotion comes on. That's because the body connects with like, oh, I'm safe. I need to like release this and get it out. But then once it starts to, the fear certainly rises and you're back in that fight or flight mode, even though nothing present is happening in that moment, right? Very similar to like PTSD and any of that stuff that can come up. That's why there is PTSD, right? We're triggered back into a moment that is the body's afraid of. So the body's trying to protect you, right? So what happens is that you're trying to catch your breath, literally, so that your body can figure out that you are safe in that moment. But because the emotions are so crazy and out of whack and the mind is going so crazy, that's having a hard time. It's really important to pay attention to that information um, because all that means is that at some point in time, your mind and body and spirit got hit with something that was detrimental to the soul. So that means, you know, either even if you don't feel like you're afraid at this time, some people are working a lot, so like on the front line, so they're just like full speed ahead, and then the second they slow down, all of a sudden, boom, here comes the panic attack. Some people are empaths like me and can feel other people's energies. This has happened to me a lot. That's why I'm having hives. I'm not getting the panic attacks, but my body's, you know, blotchy and get these hives and I'm itching and like crazy because I can feel other people's energy because it's that, the fear is that heightened. Um, so that's what's happening. And so it's sometimes not, even though you're not threatened in that present moment, it's bringing it back up. So again, the best thing that you can do, a lot of people are asking me are tips to do. Here's the thing. In order to avoid them, and I know you guys are like, wait, what? I used to have them all the time, like regularly on a regular basis, right? I mean, seriously. It was like I had no awareness of what they were, or I really just felt like I was dying. I used to have them all the time. I haven't had them since. Hives is the biggest thing that's happened to me since, in terms of fear, but it's not my own. It's other energies. But really, the way to combat that, if you're in one, obviously, pause, have a seat, breathe, ground yourself. Just try to connect with your breath. If you can just connect with your breath and just focus on the breath, if that slow count to 5, counting 1 to 5, really helps. Numbers really, really help the body, because that you're just going to have to kind of sit through it until it actually gets into a rhythm that your breath is still there. So just hanging on with it, and then just releasing any of that chatter in the mind of like, I'm dying, I'm going to pass out, all that kind of stuff. That's chatter, that's fear, that's like the body is to a level of like, if it is, it's up here, right? It's freaking out. It needs to get grounded. So just stay with that. Sometimes it takes a while, but trust that it will. It will. If you just stay with it. The way to avoid them is dun, dun, dun. Breath. What? Not just breath when you're in a panic attack, right? You have to take care of yourself all the way through. That is why I keep saying that meditation is so important. So creating space and time, especially now, 5 to 10 minutes, even if it's 5, I don't care, where you are still, where you are finding your breath, right? So that's how you communicate to your body that you're okay. So if you do that every single morning, it will help, right? If you can build in times during out the day that you can do that, that's even better. That's all like fear, it's all root chakra stuff that it's asking you, your body, really to get grounded in this moment and to make sure that your mind, your spirit, and everything knows that it's okay. So again, taking walks, doing mindfulness walks, identifying what you can actually see in the moment so that you know that in this present moment you're actually safe, you're alive, you do have your breath, you have it, right? So making sure that the body knows that. Even if you did 5 to 10 minutes of walking outside, noticing what you can see. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but it really does help. Even if some yoga poses, even if you're in a chair, putting both feet on the ground, getting your body just to elongate the spine, noticing the top of the head. And then throughout the day, checking in with your body, right? So you can do a body scan. It'll tell you right away. The body's not going to lie to you. It will tell you right away where you are holding that tension, right? The panic attack is going to come from that moment of wherever you're holding it, right? So you could be holding it in your hips, right? You're walking around like this all day, and then all of a sudden you have a panic attack. Imagine if you had stopped, did a quick body scan, notice that's where you were holding your tension, took deep breaths in and out, and just kind of allowed the body to release in that area, right? Your body is like magic, I'm telling you. So is meditation. Use it. It's like magic. I know. So those are some things you can do. And also normalize it for yourself. Like, it's okay, right? We are in a state right now where you're not going to always have time to become aware, right? So you're not going to go into this like, I'm now this yogi and all of a sudden I'm going to have this awareness, right? So you may have panic attacks. Totally normal. Let's normalize it. It's okay. It happens. But your body is communicating to you something, so you do need to listen. It needs you to slow down, right? I know a lot of you are working, a lot of you are taking care of kids, a lot of you are trying to balance, right? We're trying to balance all this stuff, and it's like flipped us upside down. And sometimes that can cause panic attacks too, when people, especially people that are really used to structure and a way of being and a way of life that they feel like they're safe, they've got it, they've done it, here we are, right? That's blown out of the water. That's going to cause anybody a panic attack. Again, totally normal. Use your breath. It really is the one thing that communicates to the body that it's safe, right? So I'm going to tell you some other things that came up for me this week that was helpful, and I'm hoping it'll help you too. I was trying to do all the stuff for the studio, for other people. That wasn't working. All this technology stuff, like I'm really an energy person, a social person. I do coaching based off your energy. It doesn't mean I can't do it through the computer. It's just a different ballgame. I just don't love it, but that's okay. So, I'm not going to have a regular schedule like I had before. It's not all going to be fancy Zoom. It's not all going to be perfect with sound in my studio because it echoes with Facebook Live. The music's going to get cut off. There's like a gazillion problems with every technology, right? When you're a fitness instructor, it's hard to get that one thing. especially for all the modalities we do. That's not just one. It's not like just yoga where you don't need music and you can not use music with yoga, but you know what I'm saying. It took me about a week and a half to realize, like, what the fuck? I can let go of this. Like, nothing needs to be anything. Like, really. Once I let go of that notion, all of a sudden things started to come together a little bit. So I started just to relax into whatever schedule felt good. Pause coaching, aside from like, emergencies and people that needed stuff. I am still doing some free counseling for people, right? But I had to do it based on what felt good for me in that time instead of, I was trying to force something, and that was not working. And that's never worked, right? That's whether we're in a pandemic or not. So try to just paying attention to if you're doing something and it feels super forced and it feels super hard, just if you can, just let it go. And then if it's meant to be during this exact time, it will come back and it will feel easy and it'll feel natural as possible, right? I wasn't sure what classes were going to resonate with people, but I know people right now that have substance use issues. It's super, super hard, and I feel it, and I hear you, and I'm with you. And so the best thing I could do was build in recovery yoga. So that will be Wednesdays at 4:30. I hope you join me. I'll try to record them so that I know everyone is everywhere, and a lot of you on the front lines. A lot of people in recovery are also, the people that are helping people in hospitals and, first responders and all that. So I'll try to record them and get them to you. But just kind of let go of just something that's not working. It doesn't feel right. See if you can let it go. Not force anything. Oh, and let go of what you think you're supposed to feel or do at this time. Like we've never been here before. So, it's your own mind that's telling you. I had to learn that too. It is your own mind that's telling you what you should think, feel, do during this time. There is no such thing because we've never been here before, right? So what you should eat, a lot of people are doing that. You should be healthy and do that. I believe that. I totally think that it is easier for your body to process and it really needs good food. Just please don't beat yourself up if you are at home and you're eating pasta and comfort food. Like, it's just part of it, right? You'll get back there. And what you're supposed to be feeling. Again, that's part of the panic attack stuff too. It's like, I'm not supposed to be having a panic attack right now. I feel like in the moment I feel fine, right? It's part of it. You're not supposed to feel anything. You never were, like it is. All of it is exactly as it should be in terms of how you are feeling in that present moment. And try to just be with it, because if you stuff it down, that's, again, another way for the panic to come right back up. If you stuff it down, it only gets stuck in your body somewhere. It's going to come out somehow, right? So it's going to come out in your kids, it's going to come out in your partner, right? I've yelled a lot for no reason. It's like my husband and I are taking turns of whose coronavirus mood is it today, right? So that happens. Speaking of that, it's okay. Can I just give you permission to still discipline your kids? This came up because it's hard because they're so out of whack and they're so like, what the heck is happening? Some kids are totally fine. Some kids the routine's getting to them. Some parents are super stressed out about the homework or schoolwork. It's actual schoolwork, right? And it's balance, trying to balance all that, right? We're in a new world. What has always been true about children, and this is actually for adults as well, right? Blessing is a perfect example of this, right? She needs me to still discipline her so that she knows she is safe, right? She will push me until I actually have to then discipline her so she knows she's going to push the limits because she has no idea what's going on. Same thing. So please keep the structure of how you responded before in terms of keeping them safe and disciplining them. That's what kids do. They push the limit for adults and be like, in this pandemic, am I still safe? Are you still going to be here with me? Are you still going to, how bad can I be? And you still, are you leaving? There's a whole lot of that. She loves that I'm around. But there is this fear out there of, I'm not sure what's happening in the outside world. So when I physically leave the house, there's some fear you can see that she's like, I'm not quite sure what's happening. So that's really okay. And don't feel bad about it. And there is no expectation of what type of parent you should be right now. Please let that go. I let that go a long time ago, whether we were in a pandemic or not. I think I'm a specific type of parent that, may be different than other people. And that is totally okay. There is no right or wrong, right? The most important thing is to really just stay present with people and love them as much as you can. So if you're letting the homework get to you and the schoolwork get to you, I could just give you some advice, and please play. Please go play with them. This will be over. This is temporary. There will, be some aftermath because of it, but if your children are healthy, if you are healthy, please just take this time to be with them. And there's lots of ways to learn that is not a pen and paper. Lots. Yeah. Some things that are coming up for me and for some other people are like, why is this happening? There's a lot of reasons it could be, but in the moment for yourself, when you're feeling fear, and a lot of people are not asking necessarily philosophically, why is this happening, but why am I feeling like this in this moment? Fuck that. Love it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. You can't process why. We have no idea, right? And we have no idea what's going to happen, which is the scary part, right? So we don't know. It doesn't even fucking matter. Here we are, right? I mean, it does matter in terms of the world and how we learn from it and how we understand it, and so how we don't, we can stay healthy, and that stuff, and that takes time. But in this present moment, if you're questioning why you feel a certain way, and then that creeps in, once you start asking why, you're like, I shouldn't, let that shit go. It doesn't, just love it, right? A lot of times we're just sad for people that are dealing with this, right? A lot of people have people that are dying, a lot of people have people that are sick. It's hard. We're all grieving. We're all grieving in some way. So just allow that to happen. Right? I cried a couple times in my class this morning. Nothing was necessarily happening. I just tuned into like, oh my God, I'm doing this from a screen because we can't be outside. I can't touch people. I'm not, that just hit me, right? And there's people in hospitals that I'm not doing this with right now, and they might, how much could they use it? So yeah, now I'm just going on a rant. And I think that's it. I don't want to talk at you too long. Just I'm going to do a couple of these when it comes up, when it feels right, when it might help you. The best advice I can give you is keep breathing and keep moving. Keep moving, especially when you feel like you can't. So there were days last week when the rain, again, is tough, right? I mean, I was grouchy beyond grouchy. Just, I wanted to be in the studio. I wanted to teach. I couldn't figure out a schedule. I was forcing stuff. I was getting caught up in what I should do. I was getting caught up in Facebook things that were pissing me off. And why were people saying this and saying that, right? Nothing to do with me. It was just my own shit. But I got out and I walked. And it's not like when you get out and walk, when you're in that moment, all of a sudden you're like, oh, right? That's not it. People are like, but I did that, Ayana. It didn't work. It's not supposed to. It does after, right? I had to move my body. It was painful. I've done yoga and I cried through the whole thing and my body was in so much pain. Not because I'm physically out of shape, but because emotionally this is hard, right? I kept moving, right? This is the best thing I can teach you. That's what I did in rehab. All those times in detox, all those times my body was out of shape. I was so fucked up, and there was not 1 second I didn't stop moving. Not one. As painful as it was. And that's why I can sit in the studio and talk to you today. So just be with that. So just get the energy needs to move. It needs to get out, even if it doesn't actually feel amazing in that moment. It does later, right? So as the afternoon went on, my mind started to relax. I started to come back to things that brought me joy, things that brought me energy, right? If I hadn't moved, even though it didn't feel awesome in that moment, I'm not sure I would have gotten there. So just stay with what you can do. And that's what I got for you guys today. I love you. Please reach out to me. Yeah. Stay present. Love you all. Peace out.